Good morning and welcome. As you can see, today I am a trash can buyer. So thank you, Natalie, for getting everything set up and running.
Dude, I'm looking in the camera and I'm like, man, I brushed my hair. What's up? And you got like this pretty bun. Your glasses are on.
Bless you for that. If you could have seen me 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So it was real funny. It was kind of like a Abbott and Costello moment. Not quite a full mix up, but Chandra and I pretty much both were refreshing our like contacts with each other, waiting for a link from the other person.
Oh gosh, that's funny. Well, happy Saturday. Good morning, everyone.
So
I
far,
hope y'all are doing well. We see Laura. Hi, Laura. Devin. Hi, Devin. Maggie. Hello. Carrie. Hi.
aren't y'all faithful? I mean, we're late and everything. It's 9:10, and you're like, hey, we made it.
Oh, you guys are great.
You are
Absolutely
awesome.
the best.
Okay, I just created the banner for this prompt so that hopefully we can start by our normal 9:20.
Yeah. I feel like that's doing pretty good, though, because we usually jibber jabber a bit. Like, settle
Glide
in.
into it. We don't
it's Saturday.
Mhm.
Gonna write some words. It's gonna be super chill.
Dude, this week, it'll show up in my blog, but I had like 2 days in a row where I'm like, I'm done. Like, I am mentally wiped. And then the following day, I still had to wait until after work to write, but like something switched. Like, it was magic. And I was like, all right, so there's hope. So that kind of taught me, like, if there's ever a bad like couple of days and stuff, like it's not always gonna be that way.
Yeah.
And I don't need to deter myself. And I, even though it was bad days, like I hated what I wrote, and hate's a strong word. Like I was like, okay, this is one of those where it's a foundation, and there's going to be some heavy editing to make it good. I had those days, but at the end of it, like I was like, I still wrote. Like I was still proud of myself for writing through, which I also hate it because I don't want to do that. But it's also, I'm in the middle of a challenge. Like any other normal time, I would have been like, let's take a rest. But doing Flash Fiction February, I'm like, let's keep pushing forward. Come on.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes as well, when you write something, even if you're not 100% feeling it, you get a different side of yourself, and it can unlock things. So I don't think it should be like avoided at all costs. I don't think it should be like the rule.
Mm-hmm.
But I think every once in a while to push through it and, get the other side of things. I think it's a good practice.
100%. Like there's still things that I found that I liked. I just didn't really love the story. Mm-hmm. But then it was interesting because I found a story that I did love, and it was I had fun with it. Like the last 2 stories I wrote, I forget what the one before, but the one yesterday, I had fun because it was an unwelcome, a teenager whose parents had an unwelcome news, and I had fun with it. Like I made it comical and everything. I was on Zara's channel, for her Twitch, and I was like, so the unwelcome news is that the kid's dad and stepmom walk in. They're like, hey, we're gonna have a baby, and he's like, what? Like, first off, like I actually know how this happens, so don't confirm it for me. He's like, I thought I was safe when I saw the batteries go missing because I have all the electronics in the house. So when I started seeing batteries, I was like, okay, it's safe. As disturbing as that was. And then the father gets all ready and goes, that's for my shaver. He's like, Dad, you've been bald for 5 years and you get your beard trimmed at the barber. What exactly are you shaving?
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. So the fact that you're laughing lets me know that it's not just my sense of humor applying here.
That's hilarious.
But I had a lot of fun with that one yesterday. I was like laughing away. It was like, it ended up being 468 words. And I think I still needed to work on the characters interacting with the environment, but I did have them interact with each other. Like the stepmom, like put her hand on the husband, like calm down, like it's okay. The kid was like not supposed to be eating in his room, but he totally was. And he just grabbed the comic book he was reading and shook out the crumbs. And
Oh, that's great.
so I feel like I threw in some good ones in there. But yeah, when it has me laughing, that's when I'm like, I'm either really awesome or I just got a unique sense of humor.
I have a thing I would have to say. I'm gonna actually let me see if I can put it in the chat. I found this TikTok, and it might be the stupidest joke I have ever seen, and it makes me so happy, like so happy. I don't even have context for it. Like, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Y'all can watch it. Let me see.
Yes, please do. Because there was this, I love the comedy TikToks, like where someone's like miming someone's comedy stand up or like acting it out, like playing all the parts. And so this one girl, she was acting out the parts of this guy, and it's like, yeah, so we're sitting at the dinner table. My wife's across from me, and my daughter just starts breaking down crying. I don't know what to do. And she goes, I'm really upset, but thank you for being supportive and stuff, like going full like hormones and everything. And then the son, the parents are like, okay, that's great. And then they look at the son and go, yeah, I got anything to share? And the son goes, I'm in an Armenian gang. And the whole house like looks, and I'm like, what?
I saw that one.
Like 3 parts. I got invested in this story. Like the fact that TikTok, I feel like, is helping flash fictions in a way, for the part that it's like, let's make either you got a short story, like some of the let me share my bad first date stories. I've gotten into those. They're good, and they usually just last like maybe 1 or 2 parts, but then there's also other stories where it lasts 3 parts. But still, if you were able to write that, it would probably come out to be a little over a flash, because no, a little less, because you can read out loud about 1,000 words for 10 minutes, or it might be 2,000 for 10 minutes. Yeah, 2,000, 1,000 for like 5 minutes if you're reading out loud, and if you're also reading a little fast. So gauging by the pace of the people's speech, and it's good. Either way, I support it. I like flashes, obviously. It's a love-hate relationship.
So, Carrie, I'm glad you made it to work too, and I hope the roads get better and clear up. Is it snow? It snowed here a little bit yesterday morning, just like a flurry. And I would like to unsubscribe.
It snowed here, and but it was more like just a frost on the. Yeah. Whereas my husband, he's been watching the weather, and he's like, "Ooh, I could golf on Sunday," and I'm like, "Whatever, dude, just go." Go have fun.
This is the link to this story, the reel.
So is it one of the 3-minute ones, or is it like a 2-minute or 1 minute?
I think it's maybe 2 minutes. It's
okay.
Short.
I will sacrifice my writing time to watch it.
It's so funny.
I'll even keep my camera on. Y'all can. Which reminds me, when I was writing the flash yesterday during Zara's stream, I'm like on the camera, like if anybody watched me, I'm like, oh yes.
I love it, and it's like that when you're writing something, you're like, ooh, and it like.
Carrie. Oh my God, Carrie watched it.
Oh, so bad.
This is so killing me.
I love it. Okay, we should really get to prompt
all right, we got the banner. I'll click on it.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm going to rewatch that.
Yeah, no, we'll start it. Do you have a timer, or you want me to pull one?
I do.
Okay. All right. Am I going to do the prompt one, 30 minutes of drafting? Like as the ticker at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Dog, you don't need to.
Let me just get rid of this ad. And Dobby, you're tripping.
You were straight up tripping, Dobby. Come on.
He literally tripped over my foot, though. But he's also tripping. Okay.
Okay.
We are ready. Sprint number 1, prompt number 1 is on the screen.
Oh, so the prompt for anybody who needs it read out loud. Prompt number 1 is a shooting star in a public place. The words to include are shipwreck, pummel, nurse, I'm double checking the book, structure, home, offset, cabin, puppy, aw, not, tide. Why is it that the word puppy makes me go, aw, like I immediately...
Oh, puppy. Is it a shooting star or a shooting in a public place?
It says a shooting in a public place, and I got a few ideas with this.
Okay. Are we ready? We doing
Yep.
this? Okie doke. Here we go.
After the video, but yeah.
3, 2, and 1.
Somebody click on that link. That was totally worth it. I'm on the last line. I realized I needed to jump back. And I didn't keep them all pure. Pummel was difficult to keep as it was, so I just added an ED at the end of that one. I think all the other ones are good.
I did pretty okay with that. I definitely I initially started taking the story in one direction and then turned it in another when I got to that point. Hi Barrett, good morning. How are you?
Hey dear. I'm trying to figure out where I was gonna here. I'm thinking and talking at the same time, and that's dangerous.
You're good. And Barrett, thank you. Enjoy your house guests and company. Much love from you.
We appreciate you stopping by. Okay, now I think I'm done. 443 word count. Oh, I need to open my email. Oh, now that I've calmed down, that video was totally worth it. I like all the puns. I need to find one. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But it was so good, and it's a long one, but it's right up there. I love puns.
Hi Mia. Yeah, I've watched it like so many times.
I'm saving it. I'm gonna show my husband, but I'm saving it until he gets home so I can see his face.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Okay, where?
I can't even.
Number 64.
Oh, I need to send you mine.
Yeah, I'm sending you mine right now, so you can probably just reply back. So that reminds me of a joke that my mother told me when I was younger. I must have been like 16 or something because there is a cuss word in it. But so there is a turtle, a rabbit, and a buzzard, and they got their land and everything, and they end up striking oil. Or no, sorry, I already ruined it. I'm becoming one of those people. So they needed to get some manure for the land so that they could grow their crops. So after drawing straws, Rabbit ends up going to go grab the manure. And while he's gone, Buzzard and Turtle strike oil, and they hit it big. They end up building a mansion and everything, get a butler, get a cook, and get everything. And Rabbit comes back with the manure and finds all this place and knocks on the door. And a butler, all prim and proper, answers it and goes, "Yes, how may I help you?" Rabbit's like, "Hey, where's Turtle?" And the butler says, "Mr. Turtle is out by the well." Okay, fancy pants, whatever. "Where's Buzzard?" "Mr. Buzzard is out in the yard." "All right, well, fine. How about you tell Mr. Turtle out by the well and Mr. Buzzard out in the yard that Mr. Rabbit is back with the shit." Figured you enjoyed that.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, I love stuff like that.
I do too. I'm going to try to find at some point this TikTok, and I remember I got to find that one that I was just talking about. I will track it down.
That's fantastic. There's another one. I feel like every time I tell it, I also mess it up. But
what?
A bear walks into a bar, and he orders a Long Island iced tea. And the bartender looks at him and is like, "Why the big pause?"
Oh, that was good. You're welcome, or I'm sorry, chat. I said both. Take whichever applies to you. Dog, stop. Oh, that one was good.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes you just can't help it.
You can't. All right. Did you email me? Yep, you did. I got it. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So we might end up using the full 10 minutes this time. because I need to go put my son on the potty.
Okie doke. Let me get that timer.
The next one is a 10-minute one that started to play. I don't recall exactly.
And we will begin in 3, 2, and 1. Okay.
All right.
So
Did you watch the video, by the way?
no, I didn't watch that one. Not yet.
Okay.
I wanted to do that.
That could be for the next one.
Were you trying to be funny in your story?
Sure. At which part?
The beginning? I laughed so hard.
I'm curious at which part.
Oh, God.
Because it was supposed to be like, I don't know. Funny was supposed to come later, not at the beginning, I think.
Okay. I'm a perv.
Yeah.
What is it?
I worked with someone in communications, or who had a background in communications. And there was kind of a rule of anything that you were going to send out needed to be read by a prude, a perv, and a person who is very literal.
I like that.
Yeah.
I am the perv.
Sweet.
I read your story.
Now I'm jumping over my story. Like, what the? Of course, I just drafted.
No, I totally get it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. I think it works, but I was not.
Okay, reading the first paragraph as a perv, I can see it.
I cackled. I'm sorry, in chat, you're like, what's happening? No,
that was one of the words yesterday. One of the words yesterday was shooter. So the teenage son was like, congratulations to at least have one shooter working. I made him so snarky. Okay.
So can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's calm chat down.
Oh gosh.
Let them know what's so funny.
Maybe y'all ain't ready.
So go into the first paragraph with the perviest mind ever, and yeah.
Okay, here we go. Nope. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. Jessica, you've been pummeled so much you're practically a shipwreck. Just let me take you home to our cabin and nurse you back to health, Jared said as he grabbed for Jessica's hands. They stood in the alley he chased her to. Jessica shook her head before Jared could finish his words and wiggled out of his grasp. You can't save me. I don't want to be saved. Yes, I have some lows, but those highs. She stared past him, biting her lip. Jared moved his head so he could lock eyes with Jessica and break her out of her trance. That's the thing. You're living for those highs and nothing else. Let me give you something else to live for. Just give me 2 weeks. No dope, no chaos, no wondering whether you'll have a meal today or not. You've lost so much. I don't want the next thing you lose to be your life. He sucked in a breath. I don't want to lose you, he whispered. Jessica's eyes lifted to Jared's. She chewed her bottom lip. What, you want to tie the knot with me or something? Bring structure to my life? I'm always going to want to use. You can't offset that. She tried to step around him, heading toward the busy sidewalk. The tiny bark made her stop. She turned and saw a puppy. Her eyebrows furrowed as she glanced around and then to Jared. Are you trying to bribe me with a puppy? She asked as she picked it up. Jared started to laugh. Cut, the director yelled. Someone get the dog and call the pound. Get back into places. We'll take it from you've been pummeled. An assistant came up and grabbed the dog from Vanessa. Take him to my trailer, please. Don't call the pound, she whispered. Scott scoffed. You're too soft. That's why you're so worked up in the scenes. Vanessa rolled her eyes. Yeah, well, you don't know what it's like to care for someone or something other than yourself. You treat everything like it's the tide. It may go, but you always think it will come back. That is why Jared is so flat in his request for Jessica to stop using. Try shedding a tear or something. Vanessa snapped as she stepped back between Scott and the back of the alley. Scott shook his head. We'll see come Oscar season. Vanessa laughed. Okay, sure. Oh, and the line is train wreck, not shipwreck, Shakespeare. Vanessa closed her eyes and took a breath. Right as the director yelled, action, Jessica opened her eyes with tears brimming their edges. So...
I hear it. Yeah.
That was really good. Those are highlighted as my favorite lines, but I was like, I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Nope, it was supposed to be like gut-wrenching, sad. I mean, and funny at the end when it's like, okay, listen here, type situation.
You've been pummeled.
I mean, I've learned a new euphemism. I created a new euphemism today.
Yes, you did, and it's
Like
brilliant.
it's going to become a new slang, and which is unfortunate though. And actually, I think I use it in the context, not in the context of someone who has a lot of encounters, but someone who has a lot of encounters with not the best choice of people. That's a
fair.
shipwreck.
Yeah.
I'm just letting my
I think that was great. Yeah, I was not ready for that. I definitely thought.
Neither was I, and I wrote it.
I thought that the tone shift was quite abrupt when we went from that to like the more serious note, and I was like,
maybe I misinterpreted.
oh, it was so funny. I did tackle that.
Hey, Spencer, please don't do that. Go on your what's it called? The bookshelf, and you can run your car across it. Okay.
Right, Leah? Right? I think.
Yeah.
I can't not hear it, but I can see how it was meant to be.
No, I kind of like. I wonder if I wish we could have gone back. Boy, you better not climb up there. I kind of want to go back and a little bit and get like somebody who wasn't here for the beginning part. Be like, hey, how do you interpret this? And they'll either fall into the prude category or the literal.
Yeah.
Usually, you fall in the literal one. You went perv this time.
I know. I was like, oh, she's spicy.
But now that gives me inspiration to like write another one. And
no, I think it was fun though because it was like, in the House Bunny, how everyone was like making fun of her and they'd be like acting like she wasn't very smart, but then she would take a word and use it seemingly out of context, and then she would finish what she was saying and it would be like perfectly within context.
I need to rewatch that because, I mean, yes, I didn't really get into those movies, like the scary movies and stuff like that, because it just I felt like I was losing IQ points while watching it a lot of the times. But there is still those like, just like in the writing, like when I hate what I wrote, there's still something in there where I'm like, you know what, that was good. Like we got a little glimmer, like a tiny potential pearl.
Yeah.
Lay down. Your tail hits everything.
I don't know if y'all can see this, but
Oh yeah, no, he's all up in there. Hey, you want to see a cat? Come on. Look. Kitty. Her tail keeps hitting the windowsill.
yeah.
Yeah. Pause for pet time. And then I got the other one over here. What?
We need intermission music where, like, yeah.
Like the elevator.
Yeah. That's funny.
Stitch, what are you doing? Come here. Come here, Stitch.
He's like half laying on the desk.
Come here, Stitch. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, I
Turn-
juggled.
And she went down. Okay. Your tail is a bit much, sweetie. You're gonna knock something down. All right, get down. Good girl. Okay. Too much love. All right. Oh, so other than that, and you said the shift from like cut, like it was abrupt, but also that would be probably how it would be if someone
Oh
walked
no,
in
the
on.
cut part was fine. The shift from like you've been pummeled so much.
Oh, because you interpreted it one way.
Yes.
All right, I was
Just
headed
let me
different.
take
Okay.
you home. I was like, ooh, you've been pummeled so much. Just let me take you home and pummel you again. Like I was so confused about what was happening.
Yeah, he was going to put on the nurse outfit and everything.
And I understand the decision. This is one of those things where it just ended up being the word choice and it ended up being hysterical and I love it. But if you were to like rewrite this, I think just changing that analogy there would be perfect. I think that it's a good story. It has good bones. The only thing that held you up there is the two words that you had to use. Which
I think be like, if he said, Jessica, you're a shipwreck, please let me take care of you. And because I kind of like the idea of keeping that there, because I feel like it adds to Scott's character that he's that much of a where she's like, Vanessa's like, it's train wreck, you idiot.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I like that. I think just taking out the pummeled part there.
Yeah. In this situation, that word was but that's happened to us a few times where like the 10 words, it's like I didn't have to use this thing.
What was I supposed to do with that word? Yeah, no, but I also wouldn't have it any other way because that was comic gold.
Well, now I feel like I need to write a story where that is the line. And
what if we make that a challenge? Misuse all of the 10 words.
What do you mean misuse?
Like
in what way? Like
use them in a wrong context or in a just like an off context, an unusual.
Yeah, like where it could be interpreted literally by a perv or by what do we say, prude?
Yeah. Or well, it doesn't even necessarily have to be perv or prude. It could just be like every time, like
so not to pick on people, but I think of it in the sense of when people make fun of Mike Tyson, I think of Dana Carvey's stand-up where he goes, see, you keep on putting people up on a pedicure.
Yes, exactly like that. That's exactly how I think it'd be fun to do that.
Where you can understand what it is, but it's,
Yes, but it's completely
I gotcha.
confused. I think that would be a fun challenge. It would be a goofy challenge, but it would
totally
be
goofy. All right, and would it make sense at all?
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
It makes me think about one of the counters to cliches I did. I just made it off the wall dumb, and I forget what the cliche is countering. Oh, I think it's when one door closes, another opens. So the final phrase that I used to counter that was, good thing your friend is a social janitor and can find you another bed to restring. Like, I just went. And I'm reading it to my husband. And he's like, I don't get it. I was like, that's kind of the point. Like, it could easily be dialogue from a very drunk friend that's trying to be good, but they are just butchering it. But the message is they're going to find you another person to shag.
Yeah.
So.
That's great.
I'm glad everyone enjoyed the pet time. All right. Here's Chandra's story. Not quite like mine, but that makes it even better. Because she didn't ruin words.
No, you didn't ruin it. It's my favorite. Be nice to my story.
All right. So, change your story. Wait, are we good on mine? All right, it's okay. And one last thing on mine. the part I was proud of, and hopefully it's conveyed, is when it's like Vanessa closes her eyes and Jessica opens her eyes. Like I felt
Yeah.
proud of that. Like that.
No, when I say everything else about it was flawless, that was the only thing, like, because I read the rest of it and I was like, ooh, everything about this is on point. If only Jessica didn't get pummeled so much.
My son's getting upset. It's fun. All right. Hopefully he's not too long. Hey, sweetie, mommy's on stream. You can't play a Wii game on the PlayStation. I'm sorry. They are both discs, but it doesn't work that way. All right. I'll try to be quick with this. Most kids dream of being a pirate or surviving a shipwreck, getting a new puppy, or growing up and becoming a nurse. Not me. I dream of a quiet, structured home, somewhere off the grid, a cabin maybe. I know it isn't for me. Sometimes I feel bad about that, maybe a little jealous of other people with normal lives. But it's too late to do anything to change that. I knew from the moment I saw him hitting Sarah again, I'd never see anyone absolutely pummel another person and look so downright pleased with themselves as he had. It wasn't just the one time either. She laid on the floor, the white of her skin offset by the red blood of her nose and mouth. This time, I'd come prepared. I didn't say anything. I'd know something like this might happen. The knot in my stomach released. I just felt calm. Sarah wasn't just my best friend. I know that's what people are going to say, but it wasn't true. Maybe was the worst of it. I would never see her again. We would never stand on the beach, hand in hand, and watch the tide come up between our toes. It didn't matter. She was safe. Even if I was convicted of committing a crime, there wasn't anything anyone could do to hide it. I had executed him. As with anything nowadays, a shooting in a public place was always caught on camera. I love this story. Let me address my son 2 seconds.
So
I like that story a lot. I like how you went in depth. Like I was, and where the chat was like, "Oh my God, don't kill the puppy." Like we're like nobody has to die and everything. I thought I like that you made it. It's like yes, kill him. You know, like it's like you put us there, and I like that you put a deeper connection between the main character and Sarah, but with them two, I took it as like family connection, not love and everything, or not. I don't even know what, like, not together in a relationship.
mm-hmm.
So that's the way I took that, and I liked how you played, how you use pummel in a correct sense, but also if I said hitting first instead of pummel, maybe it would have worked better in my story. But I really liked it, and I will say your story. Not that it needs this, but I knew where it was headed the first time and it hit well. The second time it was there was nothing new for me to find. Usually with your stories there is something new and I'm like, oh, type situation. Like for me, what I need to include that's something new in my story is with when Jared is saying his lines, make him do something that doesn't fit what he's saying a little bit, or say his eyes were dry or something like that. Like it showed that there's a little something off in his delivery, and that would have been good on the second time around. And with your story, there was no like second time around going moment, which I'm actually used to. And doesn't necessarily mean you have to have that, but it was just something that I'm I don't want to say expect, but I'm kind of used to with you.
It's not especially quite my style.
Yeah, it's still your style because it has the darkness, but it has necessary darkness for wanting more. And I will say, a thought I had when I was reading it, be like, you said nothing could hurt Sarah again. Technically, he couldn't hurt Sarah again. Now that this person's going to be in jail, they can't guarantee Sarah's safety because Sarah, just as we know with most people who have dealt with abuse, they end up with another abuser because that's what they think a relationship's supposed to be. That's what they've been exposed to. And so you can't guarantee Sarah's safety from anyone but the first asshole and stuff. So those were the thoughts that went through my mind while reading it. But I still enjoyed it, and I just like it when someone gets what's coming to them.
Yeah. No, you definitely, that is food for thought. And that gives me two alternatives. One is that after this point, she goes into sentencing and Sarah is with somebody else that the main character knows is Bad News Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Or the second option is the reason that no one can hurt Sarah again is because Sarah didn't make it.
Yeah, like maybe she tried to defend, because sometimes they'll do that. That she tried to save the guy and ended up getting struck with the bullet herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could even throw another level of how sleazy the guy is, where he actually uses Sarah. Maybe she tries to stand in front of him and defend him, and instead of doing what most people do and go for someone they love, he ends up hiding behind her, and the bullet goes through both of them.
Ooh.
And everything, because he's such a little sleazeball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like what Mama Maggie said. She said she liked the description of the visceral feel of the crime. Anything. When I was reading out loud, it seemed odd. But I didn't know something like this may happen. I think it's supposed to be I knew something like this would happen. It's like third paragraph, I think.
Third paragraph.
Second line.
Oh, it says that I'd known something like this might happen.
Known. Okay. But yeah, that just read weird, but I tried to read it verbatim at that time. Other than that, yeah, the ideas that you and I came back with, like, I think could definitely give it some more depth and give it that second read.
Mm-hmm. I like what Maggie said here. I felt like Sarah was already dead for a bit.
Yeah. Like, I was wondering about that a little bit, and I think it's because the line of she couldn't get hurt again, and it's like, why? Because if you're going to jail, you can't guarantee that, and that's where my mind went with the what about the next person. And I kind of like what you're talking about, how the story could even go further. And it makes me think of the movie, you probably never saw it, but it's Mike Myers, and I forget the lady's name, but So I Married an Axe Murderer. And this woman ends up like 5-6 husbands like dead and stuff. And so the guy, like, she kind of kept it from Mike Myers, the main character, and he was like waiting to, like, he slowly unfolds and finds out he thinks she's an axe murderer because all her husbands mysteriously go missing and stuff. And it's because, spoiler alert, sorry, but this movie's been out for like almost 30 years, if not over 25. But it was her sister killing all the husbands because they were taking her sister away from her. And that was the motive. And that's what it kind of makes me think of this, of like, this main character, what if, yeah, Maggie, 30-year-old movie. What if this character, like, made it their mission where they would, like, escape prison. They find out their friend's dating someone and this person's still bad and everything. And, like, this story could unfold even more, because, like, what if they finally get the death penalty for all they've done, and they and it's gotten to the point where like the state forces a restraining order where the friend doesn't want one because the friend knows that she's not in danger. And she doesn't want one, but the state enforces a restraining order and doesn't even let the friend visit. And
So you remember
That's
how
all.
we did that story that we wrote from 2 different perspectives?
yeah.
I feel like this one would be fun to do like that.
Ooh, yeah.
And one thing that I was thinking is Sarah doesn't okay, so this is one thing I don't think was super clear in the story where she says they would say we were just friends.
Yes.
It was like you know, and they were very good roommates, they were best friends, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But in this case it's actually true, they are just friends, and Sarah doesn't view the main character that way, but the main character views Sarah that way.
I took it as like familial, like we're
Mhm.
sisters, we're brother and sister or something. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
I was trying not to apply gender to the main character.
Yeah.
Because the main character could be a guy that was like, no.
So I should clear that up.
Yeah. But I could see it like being a multi-story here. Like we're talking about the different angles and
Mm-hmm.
possibilities. I love this stories.
There's
Though,
definitely a lot more that I could do with it.
yeah, it's a spark.
Yeah.
Let's see where the fire spreads. God, I like that. Oh, I should probably get the thing ready. Actually, chat, while I'm pulling up the spreadsheet, I need cell blocks of numbers 1 through 60 with a corresponding letter of A through Z. We're going to need 10 of those.
Ooh, I like that idea. I think I'm gonna have to work on this story some more.
Oh, but wouldn't it eventually get to the point where her friend kills Sarah to protect her from herself? Sweet. I don't have the thing open yet. Hold on.
A11.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying. Yesterday and today, I tried a new thing where I lower my chair completely. So now my knees are bent, like properly when my feet are placed on the ground. We're gonna see if this makes my back a little better. Make me sit up a little better too. Okay, open sesame. Come on. Oh no, we're on your time. All right. A11. Shot. Huh. I'm noticing a theme today.
Dolly Planet, please. B12.
That's an important vitamin, yes. B12. Oh, we've done that one before. Up, down, left, or right.
X30.
X30. X30 is postpone.
And for B12, to the left. To the left,
Okay.
everything you own in the box. To the left.
To the left. Strap.
C13.
C13.
Checking
Stock.
for dinosaur bones. Stock.
Yep.
025.
Bingo. Oh, I'm kidding. It wasn't bingo. I was just playing.
I typed bingo.
25. Flag.
Y30.
Y30 is cinnamon.
L29.
L29. Vice.
We need 3 more. What about D12?
Left, right, or up?
Yes. Right.
Right will
Mhm.
be first. My kid's quiet. I gotta shout. Hold on. Nobody's answering me and it's driving me crazy. You're okay. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm just making sure you're alive. That's all. You're alive. Cool. Go back and play. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. My kids are alive. We're good.
Y58.
Alright.
You know when
Yeah.
it's quiet, you gotta check and be like, everybody.
Yeah,
good?
I'm like, Spencer, and he didn't answer. And then I finally go in there, and Zoe comes up and is like, hey, did you say Spencer's name? I'm like, yeah, I'm just making sure he's alive. She goes, yeah, we're working out. I'm like, okay, fine, cool, you're alive. Go. Do whatever. All right, so I don't think I got L29, did I? Oh, I did. All right, and you said Y what?
Y58.
Want to stay at the YMCA. Lapse.
Lapse.
Yeah, like LAPSE.
And then K2.
Huh?
K2.
A2.
Low.
Okay. All right, let's go. PAL. PAL. All right, now for the writing prompts, need a number between 1 and 106.
First number in the chat gets it.
Yep. And then while we're waiting on that, what are the ones we got? Writing challenges. So some of the ones that we got. Have the first and last line match. Write a story about one of the 10 words, but don't use the actual word until the very end. Have all the main characters in one room and keep the words physically in the room. No off-page references.
Oh, we got 19 for the
19. All right, the prompt 19. Trying something new.
Okay, I'm gonna drop this in the chat.
Perfect. Okay, so writing challenges. Have unnamed characters only. Cannot repeat any words other than articles. Has to be a comedy. Oh, wait, what was that one we said before? Use the words incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prompt. Okay, write the story starting in the middle of a scene, like action or something like that. I don't know. Of course, there's always the animals one. Write an E prime. Use one word 10 times. Use synonyms of all 10 words chosen.
Is that instead of using the actual words, use synonyms?
Yep. And then there's also
we could
antonyms.
use synonyms.
I'm going now. Thank you.
Oh, hey, y'all still got to watch that video that I shared.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah. It's a slow one. But that's kind of the theme with the jokes we got today. All right. Have the first line and the last line match. Like, be the same exact line.
Okay. Let's do that one.
All right.
Let me grab a timer.
Something new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, sweet.
All right. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain.
I can't hear you.
I'm not shouting. My kids might come in here.
All right.
Sounds like mom's having fun.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we are ready to commence in 3, 2, and 1.
You kept on drinking. I was waiting for a spit take.
I had to watch it again.
It's even better. The guy has great delivery. Chat, you gotta watch it. I promise.
Do it.
We'll let you get back to writing now. After you watch the video.
Oh,
How did everybody do?
It just started. I think we're okay. I saw Mama Maggie post her story in the chat because it was short enough, and I am like in my last few lines. I've already got my in line. Interestingly enough, my first line has not changed. Like I think I can get it to that line again at the end.
I just sent you mine. I got a little distracted because I was rewatching some videos
Never met a dozen wise men.
and I was sending them to people who did not ask for them.
I will, if it's puns, I will always ask for it. Just send it.
I think sometimes I even hurt people a little. You know what they
It's
say?
a little too close to home.
Hurt people. Well, I just throw puns at unsuspecting. And I definitely got an eye roll back. And I am not sorry.
Husband's heading to the store, and I've already told him, I was like, I got a TikTok for you when you get home. He goes, okay, ...
I sent it to a couple people who also told me the person who told me the bear one.
Yeah.
I sent it to him too.
Wait,
Like,
the
no
the
text.
Nickelback one?
Yes. No
That one.
text. No like no preface. Nothing.
No,
just
video.
I'm so here for it. Whew. Okay, gosh. Yeah, I sent you mine. I don't know how it is because I didn't really read it all the way through after I finished putting it together.
Oh, I'm still writing this last part.
I'm looking in here at Maggie's story.
She even talks about, last I saw is that she was thinking about changing something. And I'm like, I need to stop reading and write my story. Otherwise I won't finish. And I'm still not. I'm finishing right now.
It do be like that sometimes. Oh, snap. His pal. Ooh. Oh, Maggie. Naughty. I like it. That was a spicy one. Oh, I definitely read that pancaked rat, and I was a little confused, but panicked rat does.
You might have to read it out loud.
Oh, yeah, I can read it. I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it. Okay. Refusing to postpone the inevitable, she pulled the strap off, pressed the stock against her shoulder, and lined up her shot. No lapse in concentration, like at the Olympics. A cinnamon-colored flag stood out against the white. She forgave him his vice the first time, and even the fifth, but then his pal showed up at the lodge pregnant. His addiction wasn't to the snow she loved, it was to the snow bunnies she despised. He skied ahead of it like a panicked rat, then he was gone. She wiped away a single frozen tear as the avalanche rumble faded. I see what you mean about the panicked rat. The word change is a bit dramatic. I think panicked rat doesn't have a lot of context here because it's so short. I think if you had more words, you could make it work. And not even make it work. I think if you had more words, it would be clear. When I think of panicked rat, I see kind of just an oily looking person, and I don't know if that's your intention. Like when I read panicked rat, it made me think if Fran from The Nanny had taken her fiance or her boss / boyfriend skiing, and this had been them. Like that's the Fran's boyfriend is how I would picture the significant other. And I don't think that the focus is that you want the focus to be on the physical appearance, but rather the behavior. So something that conveys her distaste for his behavior and the way that he's kind of a bottom feeder, but now he's actually really afraid. My world build was unfaithful lover, failed Olympian, shooting caused death without shooting the victim. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I think there needs to be a little, because he's too far away for us to see his physical description, but I'd like to see a little bit more, color around his behavior. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I'm jumping in now. All right. I saw the pal being pregnant. Like, I got that part. All right.
Natalie, just a sec, folks. I'm not pun yet. That's great.
Valid. Thank you.
I was thinking he's skiing back and forth trying to escape the avalanche like a rat running ahead of a flood. But I feel like also there's this sense of like, okay, and maybe this might just be my specific experience, but I saw this video of like a mother rat swimming, like diving into her burrow to rescue her kits, and like it's to the point where the water is up so high that she's like, you can see she's tired. She looks like a drowned rat, and she keeps diving in to like rescue each of her babies and like pulling them up from underneath their, like, her burrow goes under some cement and it's flooding.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's context that I have that not everyone has. I don't get the context of it being like him. Like, here's what it is. Like, almost, does he know that she's there? Because if he doesn't know that she's there, why would he start? Like, you would think his response would be to panic when he hears the shot. Because there's got to be this moment of realization where he's like, it's perfectly safe to snow here. Panic deer might be good. Yeah. Because he hears that shot and he's like, oh. And there's got to be this moment where he's like, it's all coming together for him, where he realizes she's always known. He knows she knows that his time's up, that the shot was intentional, and he knows because of his experience in the area that the shot is going to trigger this avalanche. So then he the panic. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Not necessarily like it could work as a rat, but I feel like rat is more descriptive of a physical characteristic than a behavior, if that makes sense. I don't know. What do you think, Natalie?
Yeah, I'm arguing with my son. I like panic deer. Panic rat makes me think of panic cat too. Like, pretty much those when the animals are freaking out and they're scrambling across walls. When they're in an enclosed space, they're just trying to figure out a way to get out. Mm-hmm. That's what I picture. Panic deer makes me think like freeze, look, and sprint type is what I get with panic deer. And also it kind of sets it. If we're talking about skiing and snow and stuff like that, I would expect a deer around more than a rat.
Oh, you make valid points. Well, also, now that when you put it within that context, a rat would just climb a tree. But yeah, I think, yeah. I like the story, though. Like, for the specific of just, if you want to tweak that line, then I agree about the deer. But I think it's just a good story.
Yeah. No, and what I like is that you took our prompt and everything, but you got your like own words and like did a different challenge. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, I love how you like do the like very short ones and you challenge yourself to like, okay, this one's going to be 100 words, and then you have your world build. I think that's really cool. I've never seen it done like that before. I really like that.
I really want to start trying, but I'm not going to do this on top of already all the stories we do.
Mhm.
But I'm going to start trying, like, with these prompts, like, if I get bored or something, trying to create, like, a sentence or two with all the words.
Yeah, I kind
It
of
doesn't have to be a full story, but to just have a sentence or two that, like, paints some type of picture.
I got your story here. I feel like, whoa.
What?
Just saw how long your story is.
Yes.
No, nothing. Just I was surprised.
Well, I did keep on typing after we were supposed to be done, but it was only like 3 more sentences. Yeah, 470. I would say the last 50 words came after the timer was off.
Okay, something's wrong.
What?
You remember how that one time it like pasted this story 84 times? And I couldn't get it to stop.
Oh, shoot.
It's doing the thing. How many pages should it be?
Should be max of 3. But I honestly think it'll be probably more like 2. Because it's 1 full page and then it's a little bit of the first, because I added to a big document, like a continuous document, so I could see it being 2.
Okay, it pasted into your document a couple of times, so yeah.
Well, look
okay,
out.
that's better.
Yeah, look for the sentence to be the same.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, wait a second, something's wrong. Okay, 469, right?
470 is what I got. The word dropped off somewhere. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm not worried about 1 word.
All right, are we ready?
Yep, bring it on.
All right,
This one might actually be short, because I'm not getting distracted by or knock on wood, I'm not getting distracted by the kids this time.
I do not intend to be
Yeah.
distracted.
Now the kids may intend for me too, but yeah.
Ooh, I got you. Sorry, I was
What?
reading. Maggie said, I'm
Oh.
trying to overcome my overriding tendency by doing.
Ooh, yeah.
work.
See, I'm an underwriter, so I feel like I need to go back with stories. What game are you trying to show me now? You want to play Kingdom Hearts? Fine, put it in. He keeps on grabbing games, like, let me do this. I'm like, whatever.
Oh, and yeah, as far as a climbing tree and an avalanche, yeah, don't do that. That's not safety advice. I'm just describing what a rat's behavior would be, but don't do that.
Yeah, no, tree fall
Yeah,
with avalanche, 100%.
don't. Just as a safety disclaimer, this is not legal advice.
Need an asterisk in this entire show.
Right.
Which, oh god, we probably. I never pulled the description, by the way, from previous stream.
Okay, I'll do
And
that at some
everything.
point in time.
Yeah, we'll we at least started today, and we started later than we normally do, and we might still finish on time. So bravo to us.
So we're killing it.
We got this. We're still writing words. Okay.
All right,
Let's
here we
get
go.
this.
3, 2, and 1. This story hurt my feelings.
I like your story, and I will say your story I had to reread, and I was like, ooh, I missed that before. Ooh, like it gave me the ooh that I'm used to getting from you in the rereads.
Well, this one had the oomph, and I think that you should submit it somewhere. I'm serious. Like
Aw.
you should. Yeah. No, this one's all the feelings. Like,
Okay, I want to read yours first.
okay.
Because there was a lot of things where I'm like, ooh, this, and stuff. So, all right, I'll read yours first. Plus, my son's being quiet right now, so let's use it while we can. Try something new. Go out with a bang. Stop living your life like a shot in the dark. Don't postpone that big trip. Strap yourself in for something big. Really take stock of your life. Stop chasing the red flag and look for the green light. He thought of all the things his family used to tell him, or the things he wished they would tell him. He wanted to tell them to go out with a bang was a bit more Bonnie and Clyde than it was living life to the fullest. He didn't have the money for the big trip, and he'd been taking stock, and he didn't like what he was finding. He felt more and more like Gatsby with the green light than he had ever had. And here his family was telling him that that was the thing he should be chasing. Did they not realize they were the red flag? He thought of the other things he said to. Stop fooling around with He thought of the other things they had said to. Stop fooling around with cinnamon. You're wasting your time. Your life is full of sin and vice. Your judgment seems to lapse at the most inconvenient times, pal. Who's to say what sins and vices were? Cinnamon was the best character he'd ever written. And so, what if she was a hooker? He spent the best parts of his life with hookers. They taught him a lot about himself, about people he owed them this book. There was the whole pal thing too. So if this book was his Bonnie, his green light, his big trip, he was going to take it, even if it put all his secret sins and vices out in the open. He had nothing left to lose. After all, didn't they want him to try something new? So I love the try something new and how it became a new thing. So the way I take it is that this guy's a writer, and he's writing a story, I'm assuming that's almost like a memoir, and his family's like, no, get away from that life and stuff like that. The parts that I found confusing was the first part, which by the way, it made me laugh. I was actually laughing reading the first sentence, and I'm like, was she trying a drinking game of like how many of the 10 words I could put into the like first paragraph and get a knockout and then do the rest of the story? It was funny. But he said those were the things his family used to tell him, and then or the things he wished they would tell them. But later he's saying he wants to tell them, and he kind of counters each point. So I'm like, the line or the things he wished they would tell him threw me off. Because I'm assuming what you were going for with that is that maybe they're estranged now and they don't talk anymore. And those were things that they used to say. And that's where the things he wished they would say. But that line doesn't, to me, convey estrangement. To me, that line was contradictive to later when he's saying, well, I want to counter all their points. And in the third paragraph, he counters all the points. So if I want to tell them, going out with bang, Bonnie and Clyde, don't have money, I'm taking stock. And I will also say it was a little jarring for me to read and a lot. It was almost run-on sentences, but at the same time, I kind of took that as the character. And where he was just kind of like, it's all these thoughts at once. So it's and this, and this, and this, and this. And then he said he thought of other things they'd say too, or they'd said to. So now we're going back to they've actually said this. So that's why it's just that line of what he wished they would say. I feel like if you're trying to convey that they're estranged and they don't talk anymore, maybe that's where that line could be something of, or what I remember them saying, or something like that. Haven't talked to them in 10 years or whatever it is. I kind of felt like the line, there was the whole pal thing too. Like it seemed like a start of something. I'm like, yeah, counter pal. And then it's like, that was it. That was the counter. And then there's the whole pal thing. Moving on. And like kind of like Loki going, yes, very sad. Anyway, it was I'm like expecting him to be like, I'm not your pal, buddy, or something like that. I'm not like, just because we're family doesn't mean you know me like that and stuff. Like, I was expecting something like that. And I just my idea is either expand upon that line or cut it. And I think, because also with the 10 words, you already said pal, so you're good. You didn't have to mention it again. Or he could say, I'm not even going to address pal. Like, it doesn't even warrant. And then you could still have that in there. And I did like with Cinnamon, how Cinnamon was introduced, like Stop Fooling Around with Cinnamon. And I'm like, is that a name of a drug? Am I like not up on the times? But then I noticed Cinnamon was capitalized, and I was like, oh, it's probably a person. And so that helped me reading it to understand kind of where this was already headed. But I still like it, and I like the Gatsby reference and everything. I totally forget, because it's been so long, what the green light was, but if I remember correctly, he was kind of fixated on the green light. Just standing on his dock and seeing the green light, and because that's where what's her face lived, and he always is like he wanted to go there. But it was also his downfall too, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah. So I was going for a bit more of what Maggie said, that he listens to too many influences. And that's why it's a bit confusing about where the voice is or who said what or what he actually wanted them to say, because he's confused. And like with the, like, no, you don't want to go after the red flags, but also the green light is, like you said, a fixation that leads to a downfall. So really, there's not a good option there. And I wanted that to be a little.
I'll help it a little bit, buddy.
Like there's both a positive and negative way that you can look at things, and maybe like he overanalyzes.
I definitely got analytical from him, especially with the and sentences. My son's getting upset because he keeps on dying in this game.
Yes, what
what
Maggie said.
I mean, it feels like he's writing the expose for himself, but to embarrass or mock them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is the snide sarcasm kind of coming through, but the pal part, I wanted that to come across more as like they talk to him like he's a child, like he hasn't lived a whole life that they don't know anything about. But I think you're right about like maybe changing the way that is addressed so it becomes clear that he's rejecting the advice that they give him, even if some of it has become so internalized that he can't differentiate between his inner monologue and their words. And that a further rejection of that is that, you know, even when they're being like, well, pal, you know, why don't you like look at things this way? I mean, buddy, think of this. You know, we're just looking out for you. We just want what's best for you, hun. And if you could, and that was kind of the voice I hear from them towards him, that he's like,
yeah, like belittling almost.
Yes. Yeah, so I definitely could play with that more and pull that out of the story a bit more by going just a little bit longer on it.
Yeah. I still like it. And like I said, I got the ooh and wow moments, and like the things that really stood out to me was I kind of liked I liked the entire paragraph where he's saying, who's to say what sins and vices are? Cinnamon was the best character he'd ever written. And to me, I definitely enjoyed that entire paragraph because I felt like I got to know him more as him. Like that was that was him 100%. That wasn't his family influence or anything like that. And I think that's why once I finally got that character, I was like, yes, I want to read this. You know, and find out.
I like it. And yeah, I think it would be a fun one to. It felt very what's that movie? The Will Ferrell movie where he's like conscious in the Stranger Than Fiction.
Fiction, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
A little Stranger Than Fiction writing it. I'm writing an author who's writing a character
Who, yeah.
It's like Inception there a little bit.
Also kind of makes me think of a Secret Window with Johnny Depp, where he played an author, and I'm forgetting what the whole punchline was, but apparently there was just a lot that was in his mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, kind of Fight Club-esque.
Oh yeah, that'd be it.
Mm-hmm. I like it. So, anything else before we go to your story?
You did good, dude. You gave me the I need to read this again, and I caught more and everything. Like you gave that to me, and I thank you.
Nope, I love it. Okie doke. So on to this one. Also, before I begin, grab a box of tissue, maybe a fuzzy blanket, put on some comfy socks, hug the people you love. This one is sad. It's happy sad. It's sappy. Sad happy. Different, you know what
is that where the word sappy came from originally?
Maybe. I don't know. That's interesting. We'll have to check. Okay, here we go. Wesley stared out to the path before him. It was still dark, but he knew it was a long way until the top. The hike was supposed to be a half-day's climb up and just an hour to get down. His college roommate always wanted to hike, but he never left the hospital long enough to make it out here. His pal enjoyed the outdoors, whereas the outside was Wesley's vice. Anytime Wesley walked into Mother Nature, he'd immediately raise a white flag and head indoors. But when James had his last laps, Wesley knew what he had to do and didn't want to postpone it to the weekend. With a camera against his chest and a backpack on, Wesley tightened the wrist strap and took his first step. The hike took longer than it should have, but Wesley kept stopping to snap a shot via phone and camera whenever the horizon showed through the trees. This hike wasn't for him, but that didn't prevent Wesley from taking all anti-allergy medication before he started climbing. During the climb, his endless stock of cinnamon cough drops prevented his throat from feeling scratchy as well. As he neared the top, he got an idea. Wesley pulled out his phone and video called his friend. "Hey, Wesley, are your eyes closed?" James answered. An oxygen tube ran from ear to ear and under his nose. The dark circles under his eyes were more prominent this early in the morning. "I wanted you to be the first to see it," Wesley said, as he lifted his hands from his eyes just enough to look down at his feet. "What view? I hate to break it to you, buddy, but you ain't much more to look at than I am." James laughed, then coughed a little. Wesley turned his wrist around so the phone faced in front of him. "Wow," James said. Wesley dropped his hand and gazed at the sunset. "Can you see it?" Wesley asked as he moved the phone across the horizon. "Yeah," James let out. "I wanted you to have a hike again so we could get... I wanted you to have a hike again so when I get back I'll cut the video and you can watch it as many times as you want and see this view as many times as you want." "Just make sure you stay at the top a little longer, man," James asked. "No problem, brother," Wesley said. "Sorry to wake you." Can't wait to see the video, man. I'll see you later today after I take this nap, James said. All right, see you then, Wesley said before hanging up. He lingered on the horizon, twisted so the camera on his chest scanned the horizon until the sun was a full circle in the sky. He sighed and turned. Wesley stared out to the path before him. First of all, did not give you permission to hurt my feelings this early in the morning.
Like, I don't know what it is, your voice or something, and also even me realizing that I really should allow time to spell check. But I felt the emotion and everything, definitely, with you reading it. I didn't feel it as much. I was like, yeah, this is kind of sad. But when you're reading it, I'm like, that's the way I feel it. Like that one story about the life cycle of parenting, every time I touch that story, I'm like, like every time.
I told you, this is like the same, like you could do a book of like shorts and those two would be like the cornerstone.
I could actually, I need to go through all mine and I'm going to like do like different volumes. It's like when you need to cry.
Yeah, no, this one.
When you need to feel badass.
I was not ready for that. It hurt my feelings. It's a very good story. I also got the impression, and this might just be me, but I also got the impression, like, even though James is saying he's so excited to see the video, that they both know he's never going to see the video. And that's why Wesley doesn't hurry up and head back, because at that point, it's not going to make a difference.
He also, James did say, hey, make sure to get the horizon, like linger on it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And it's like my heart wants him to see it,
Mm-hmm.
but like that for some reason the conversation of like, I'm going to take this nap, I don't think he's going to wake up.
Yeah, and that hurt my feelings. So thanks for that.
It just came to me. I'm sorry.
Now I'm going to go ahead and criticize you a little bit so I don't cry.
Yep.
When he says, no problem, brother, that tripped me up, because are they actually brothers or are they friends? Because I don't know people. This may just be like colloquially where I am, where people say brother, or rather they would say brother or something like that. And so it's kind of that part.
Go slang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took them as really close friends, like really close, and
Yeah.
they're like brothers. And so I could see making it an A instead of an ER. Spencer, get closer to the edge before you jump and you'll make it to the other side.
Or
Okay.
since they're supposed to be so close, instead of saying no problem, brother, say no problem, my brother. So he's like taking a little more, I don't want to say ownership, but he's claiming him as family, like you are my family, even if that hasn't necessarily been said before.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if this is sunset, how come he's lingering until the sun was a full
I took it as
circle in the
sunrise.
sky? Oh, it's sunrise. Okay.
Because the second line is that it's still dark.
Okay, so what confused me is that earlier you said it takes a half day to climb.
Oh, I meant that in a sense of time. Like, not that it would, like, that it would be like 6 hours or something.
So if it's going to take a 6-hour climb, and what time did he have to start out for it to still be dark so that he reaches there at sunrise?
Yeah, it would have to be midnight. So, okay, then I should be like, say like a 1:15 midnight or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but I think that also adding that detail in about when he starts this hike instead of waiting to the weekend, that increases the sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
That there isn't time for him to wait to do this. The other thing, my favorite line.
I love Maggie's idea. She said, was Wesley's chest camera streaming back to James's computer? That would be a cool idea. So that way he does see it.
Yeah. And then maybe the angsty part comes in when he says he can't wait to see it again.
There we go.
My favorite line, what view? I hate to break it to you, buddy, but you ain't much more to look at than I am. And then James laughed and then coughed a little. Hurtful.
Yeah. No, Dad's not home yet, sweetie. Yeah, when I typed the cough, I was like, oh, like this is right up there. Like it made me think of Up when Ellie and Carl are walking up the hill. And usually Carl is the one lingering behind. And then there's that one scene where Ellie lingers behind going up the hill. Like she kind of stumbles and falls. And that was the same like feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Thanks for hurting my feelings this morning.
Yeah. So Maggie, I'm from the same where we say like a half day's climb. And even though it's not like day in the sense of, we mean like a day as in 12 hours, not a full 24 hours.
Well, and so
wait time.
I'm with you there, but to me it was confusing in that what time would he have to have started?
Yeah, I think I could have set that. It's kind of like what is it called? With when you and I were doing I referred to a Ferris wheel carriage, and you were like, I don't recall that. And then there was another time where I made a reference to Groundhog Day with my counters to cliches, and it was someone brought up like not everyone's going to be familiar with Groundhog Day because it's not called Groundhog Day the movie in other countries, because other countries can't relate to what Groundhog Day the actual day is supposed to be for.
Yeah, and I think one thing that would even clear that up really easily is to say something along the lines of, since it was a half day's climb, he would have to start at X time, or whatever, in order to make it for sunrise.
I love this. Wesley having a canister of air. Like, do you mean like he's getting air from the top of the mountain that he just climbed? I mean, a 6-hour climb is actually not that tall. It's probably 4,000 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
Above 8,000, that's when you have to have an actual oxygen mask. But I like the idea of, like, for example, I went to Normandy, and while we were there, my father and I both got sand off the beach, and so we both have like little sand keepsakes from Normandy Beach.
Yeah.
Now, and I could see doing that with the air on top of the mountain.
Hi,
I could see
RK,
this going.
How are you?
Hey, dear. Welcome. We just finished reviews. So
yeah,
you can catch this on the rewatch, I promise.
Oh, this last story will hurt your feelings. I'm just warning you, warning everyone. So yeah, that one hit me.
Yeah, I can see. It's funny how I like write a story, and then when it's come back at me, I'm like, oh, I hear it now. Like that's happened twice now in 2 different scenarios.
For 2 completely different reasons.
Yep. It works. And I've already now, because I was always wondering what I was going to do with these flashes, but I've now written down anthology idea, and I'm like, stories that will make you cry.
I like it. I think this one was really good. I mean, both of the stories that you wrote today were fantastic. This one, I mean, the other one was hysterical, and I loved the funny. It was so funny. But this one, like, it's really good. It's
Thanks,
really good.
buddy.
You're welcome, pal.
Wait, what?
I said you're welcome, pal.
Oh. Oh, I could say Wesley parked at midnight, trying not to worry he would be ticketed for staying overnight. I like that. Oh, no, in Colorado, they sell canisters of compressed air for those who aren't used to the exertion and altitude. Anyone climbing 14,000 above sea level is recommended to carry one. Oh, and they're mostly contain O2. Okay. Yeah, the times that I hiked, I've never been that above far above sea level, I think.
Yeah.
But I do know, like, so for me in my job, and we travel, we also have to work out regularly. And our workout is measured like by how fast we can run and stuff. And that is tailored when we're above a certain level of sea level because of the density of the air. Don't touch it, buddy.
That's a good thought, though, man. Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. But I actually now that your O2 reference gave me, please don't touch it, buddy. Gave me an idea of a keepsake of getting air from the top of the mountain.
Well, see, that's how I had taken it, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's really cool, but also a little mean because we know he's already on oxygen and he can't breathe, and there's allergens, so his friend's already like eating cough drops and allergy pills, so to come back with a can of air, it'd be like, ooh. But I like the idea of it.
When Dad gets home, you can play Dad's game with him, okay? Oh my gosh.
I live at 6,000 feet.
Yeah, I haven't looked at elevation. Now I'm curious. Hold on. Before we get off here, I'm gonna look at the elevation. Why am I doing this?
I'm going to look at mine too.
Yeah. Yep. I'm 738 feet.
676.
Yeah, so we're not even in the thousands and stuff. Like, so if there was a mountain nearby or something, it wouldn't be that bad for me.
Oh, no, we're actually in like a bowl. It's some of the worst allergies in the country.
If you're in the area of Georgia, in that, like Georgia, a little bit into Florida and Alabama, definitely 100%.
Yeah.
Which is funny though, because I grew up in Georgia, never had allergies, but then I went to Texas. No, it was when I went to Germany. Germany, I had allergies for the first time ever. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I didn't have any allergies till I moved here, and then I had strep 3 times back to back, and couldn't figure out why I like just kept getting sick because that was not my nature at all. And then everyone was like, oh, no, you have allergies. And I'm like, no, I don't have allergies. I've lived my entire life not having allergies. And they're like, you have them now. Welcome. Welcome. I felt like, oh, what's it? Welcome. It was like Hunger Games.
Wait, are you trying to channel Effie?
Yes. That was my introduction to allergies. So good times. Oh, I know we need to wrap up, but I'm just really excited for hubby to see.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's still unloading. He bought the kids St. Patrick's Day T-shirts.
Oh, when is that?
When is St. Patrick's Day? March 16th. That's what he said. Now I'm looking.
March 16th?
Nope, 17th. So close.
I'm Scottish.
Samsonite, you were way off.
Cool beans.
Scottish, leave me alone.
Corned beef and
I'm more
cabbage.
Scottish than you. All right. But he just got back from the store.
I think it's about the same.
You're going to play? Okay. He just got back from the store and he's unpacking the groceries and stuff. And then, but no, I'm 100% going to play it. I don't think I can do it live on stream, but maybe after the stream's done.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will, definitely. But
Well,
yeah, I got him to see it.
For a
So
second, it was very.
I think that's all we've got for today. I've got homework to do that I need to get to this afternoon. So
is this a different project than what you were typing up yesterday?
yeah, I submitted that one yesterday, and as soon as I submitted it, I found something that I did wrong, and I was just like, whatever.
I hate that.
I know. I did. It was a discussion. So I added a comment on my discussion post and was just like, I since realized that I misattributed this. So it should be this. I mentioned it in this post originally. Here you go. Bye-bye. Like, I figured out what my mistake was. So if you can give me the points or not, I really don't care. I'm not spending 84 years on one homework assignment. I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm
not like at a certain point you just gotta like accept what you get what you get. Like just go.
Like I realized that I was like I could get straight A's in everything, but the amount of time it would take me to do that at that point, like I'm not living anymore.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's my thing that I've said to myself sometimes. I'm like, like if what I submit, like with the flash fictions, with any of the writing and stuff like that, with my work, if I have done everything that I could without sacrificing myself, my kids, or really those things, or my marriage or whatever, if those three things, if that was the next step to doing more, is one of those three things would get sacrificed, whether it would be time or together or what have you, then I did enough and I need to be okay. And if my enough wasn't enough for someone else, that's something else. Like,
Yeah.
but I did enough.
it do be like that. It's like
Yeah. And I'm not a piece of shit or anything where like my enough is like horrible or whatever, but I know sometimes it wouldn't be perfection. Absolutely.
Yeah. But like the difference between my B effort and my A effort, if it's 3 hours, you know what I mean? Let's go with the B. Let's go with the B.
Yeah. Just be happy. Like growing up, for me, I got money for A's. B's were okay. C's, I was grounded. So sometimes I would get money and get grounded. But yeah.
Mhm.
It's you I think that's what being a kid and dealing with homework and in college and stuff like that is just learning what is enough.
Yeah. And honestly, Maggie, that was me yesterday. I gave myself 2 hours. I did take a little bit longer. It ended up taking me 2.5 hours, but my plan was to have 2 hours. And of course, part of that was, it really did take me 2 hours. It's just, on the stream, there was the chat stuff in between. So I really had breaks. But overall, I gave myself 2 hours to get the assignment done and submitted and respond to everybody else on the discussion post. And that was it. And I was like, if I can't get it done in that time, I'm just going to submit what I have and carry on, because
Well, I'm glad you found that balance, and it sucks that you went back and found something. You're like, oh, shit. But
I found it while I continued to do the assignment. I was reading someone else's discussion post, and I read what they said, and I was like, wait, let me go back and reread that section. And I realized I'd misattributed something, and I just, I corrected it. But like, I realized my mistake through doing the assignment. Like me looking at it more times wouldn't have changed it, because, dyslexia. And sometimes when you look at words on the page, even if you've read it a certain number of times, I think I'd already read that section 3 times, I wasn't going to change what I saw.
I've always hated that. I reread something, and it's not until like the 6th time that I comprehend it. I go, oh.
Yeah.
Like your brain just sometimes doesn't brain.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd been over it a lot. So I'm like, it's not even like I didn't do my due diligence here. Just I got in trouble for A-, but my parents were psychos. Is valid.
God, some parents, and I never want my daughter to feel that way ever. I've made sure.
I remember bringing home a report card and having like a bunch of A's on it. And I was like, so where's my money? And my dad was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, you told me you would give me money for all the A's that I got. And both my brother and my mom were like, you did say that. Never got a penny.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that makes me think of a meme. Or it was a Twitter post, and it was his dad, and said, I told my kid that I would give him $1 for every book they read. And they said, my kid thinks they're robbing me because I've given them $120 now. And they were like, this is actual chapter books. that I'm paying for it. He's like, my kid thinks they're robbing me, but honestly, this is the best investment I've ever made. And I was like, that is so wholesome.
It is, but it's two birds, one stone, because they have to be off somewhere being quiet in order to read that many books.
Valid.
So, like, yeah, you spend that money, but they're safe. They're safe. They're learning, and they're being quiet. Just like, for the win.
Well, I need to eat.
Yes, same thing.
One of the times that I've been on mute, my stomach grumbled, and thank God I was on mute. It would have halted the conversation. So
is valid. Well, with that, we will run a
Yes.
wrap. Earn money by, yeah, right. Why can't we do that as an adult? Someone pay me to read books.
I will totally like check off, like, remember Pizza Hut where you would get like a free pizza and the library would give you, if you read 10 books, you get a free pizza. I'll eat pizza.
Yeah,
I'll
for
do
grown
it.
folks.
That's fine as payment.
Yeah. When the brain says nope and you just can't retain something. Yep, it's me.
Oh God, yeah. No matter how many times you
Like
read
that.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Anyway,
right,
chat.
y'all.
Thank you. Y'all were
Thank
great
you, thank
today.
you.
Mom Maggie, I loved your story. Thank you
Yes.
for always giving us a story. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. And the feedback that y'all have. And
You know where to find us next week on Natalie's channel.
it's the 12-hour stream, and it's going to be on 27 February, not 26 February. So we're skipping Flash Fiction Live on the 26th, and it's going to be incorporated into the 27th. On the 27th, we're having 3 Flash prompts that day. We got a full schedule. Actually, I think today would be a good day to post the schedule on Instagram.
Yes.
And
Yes,
show
let's
that.
do it.
So we'll make
Keep
sure
an
you're
eye out.
following us both on Instagram, and you'll see the schedule for the 27th. It's 12 hours. And even on breaks, there's still going to be stuff happening on screen. So lots of entertainment and stuff. So come join.
Thank you, thank you. And with that, we will see you all next time.
Ta-ta.